Kauai in the Tibetan mountains that has reached an altered state near nirvana, kind of a blob nirvana, if you will. And there are rumors that he has attained a state of 0 calorie burn. Couch body.
Hello and welcome to Lunch Therapy. I'm your host, Joel Marshall. Today we've got an incredible guest, Keith Kurlander, who is the founder of RAD TV. He was friends with Dennis Woodruff. A lot of people wonder about Dennis Woodruff. He produced a lot of Dennis Woodruff's films. He also was in the band, or is in the band, Idiot-Savant. I can't wait to get him on here. He's a very interesting individual. If you notice up there, I'm advertising December 6th at 7 p.m. I'm doing a show called The Origins of Comedy at the Yard Theater. Put that on your calendar, December 6th, 2024. Hope you can join us. Also, in news, household news, this is going on over at the West Hollywood Library. There's an installation called Final Impact, which is being done by Equal Means Equal and Kamala Lopez and Sonja. We're like coming along over there. It's something we've been given updates on. You can see there's a whole wall of people calling the administration saying, please get women in the Constitution. Please publish the Equal Rights Amendment. You can see me down in the lower right-hand corner. You can see Kamala just above the dog there. And then lots of other people, celebrities and such, saying, let's get this thing done. Let's get women in the Constitution. There's a lot going on, and this is really coming. We're going to have some drone footage from this and all kinds of cool stuff. This is what it looks like with the crane up there. It's going to say publish the Equal Rights Amendment. So there you go. There you go. The presidential race is not the only thing going on in politics right now. All right, let's get into this. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 All right, it's Interview Friday. I'm hypnotizing all of you out there. Keith Kurlander is going to be on the show, but I'm going to bring him on for the breathing because he is also a yoga master. So that's kind of cool. We like that. Let's get going. Let's breathe. So you're going to see Keith, and then I'm going to introduce him. So that's going to be what's going to happen today. There's Keith right there. Great to see you, Keith. Welcome to Lunch Therapy. I asked Keith, because he's a yoga master, to lead the breathing today. We like to breathe at the beginning of the show. Behind me is Healing Vibrations. Take it away, Keith.
It's good. 1976, so I'm shaking in my boots. I still practice yoga, but here we go. I'll give it a shot.
All right, let's do it.
Deep breath, starting with the mouth and going into the nose. Inhale. Exhale through the nose.
I like it. I like it.
Exhale deep. Exhale through the toe. One more time. Inhale deep. Exhale through the toes. How does that feel?
Feels good. Feels really good. I don't know what's going on with your mic, but something crazy is going on with your mic, where it's
No,
it's like super. It sounds like you're in a phone booth.
I'm
Choose.
hearing that echo thing.
Yeah, maybe choose the microphone. Yeah, it says sounds like Keith is talking on his flip phone from 1976. Good thing we breathe though, because we're calm. Everything's calm.
Wait, it's weird. We didn't hear that before, right?
I know. Of course, we get into the show, and then that happens. Maybe if you go to the microphone and make sure that you have the right mic chosen.
I will.
All right, so now we're gonna check out some elephants while Keith gets his microphone going. This is something that I think you're gonna really enjoy. It is an elephant swimming underwater with a pumpkin at the Oregon Zoo. If you ever get a chance to go to the Oregon Zoo is a fantastic place that I've never been to, but I can only imagine through the magic of video. Yeah, check that out. He's like putting on a show. Whoa! I'm getting attacked by the elephant. He's putting on a little show there. Let's see, Keith's coming back. I think he's coming back here. This is the magic of live streaming coming to you. So I don't know if you know all this, but animals love pumpkins, especially elephants love pumpkins. Let's see what Todd says. Don't worry, Keith. It's not you. It's Joel. It's just another top-notch lunch therapy production brought to you by Slav 98. It's totally me. I'm sure it's me.
Did you see me yet or no?
Well, let's see. I can see you, yes, but it's still kind of weird sound. I don't know what's going on with the sound.
I have a little wet mic that I can try hooking up to.
Try it. Let's do it. Let's try it, and I'll show some cool videos, get people ready to see you on the show. Over here we have, in this section of the show, I'm going to thank the Patreons. It's good time to do so. These are all the Patreons that contribute to the show in more ways than one. They often contribute money through patreon.com, which I invite anybody to do so. Sometimes people say, hey, Joel, how can I help you produce your show? I know that you put a lot of energy into it. And I say, hey, just go to patreon.com/JoelMarshall. Just sign up to be a Patreon. And that's the way we fund these kind of things. We've got Mike Knox, Todd Lee, Camila Lopez, Liz Lopez, Robert Lopez, just had a birthday, Jay Patterson, Pam Palmieri, Neil Phillip, sometimes known as Neil, Seth Word, and Mary Marks. So I'm really glad to have them as Patreons. And you too, if you don't know about it, now you do. Patreon.com/Joel Marshall. You can give as little or as much as you want. You can do it on a monthly basis. You could do it for 2 seconds and then go, whoa, that was scary. It was almost subscribing to lunch therapy. All right, let's go on. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Todd Lee says, are you going to do any remotes from the World Series? That would be cool, wouldn't it? That would be cool. I don't know. Like I say, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So today on the show, and anything has happened already, we have Keith, Kurlander. So a lot of you might know about Dennis Woodruff. Dennis Woodruff is he was, they said he was an unknown actor. He was like a famous actor that was going to be a movie star, and he had this car, and we would see it around town. It'd be covered with all kinds of different movie reels and memorabilia, and it would say Dennis Woodruff, Unknown Actor, and he had many different cars, and we'd see it all around town. And everyone always wondered, like, what is up with this Dennis Woodruff guy? Well, then he started making his own movies, and that was because he met Keith Kurlander. And you could buy the movies, you know, out of Dennis Woodruff's back of his car. He made a living doing it. And so Keith Kurlander kind of gave him a voice, I think. I don't know. But also Keith Kurlander has a voice of his own because he started out as a street performer, and then he was like, I'm not making any money doing this. So then he up and moved to Hawaii, which is a lot of us dream about, going to a place where we can live sustainably in a group of people and have it not be necessarily a cult. Or maybe it is a cult, I don't know. But he went over there, and I've got a clip from that, and I'm going to show you. This is Interview Friday. We're still getting ready with our guest. I'm vamping, obviously. Like to move it, move it.
In 1976, he traveled to the Hawaiian island of Kauai to further his spiritual experience.
Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, you don't have to go to work, you don't have to pay for food, there's no phone bills to pay, you're naked, you don't need money, you don't have money, and you're living life, and you're fine. Incredible. Food's growing on trees, food's in the ocean, everybody in the valley shared whatever they had. So we'd get together and we'd have like little lunch things, little dinner things, and it'd just be like a movable feast and a communal family, kind of like the tribe you never had. And time was like endless. It moved so slow. Every day was like an eternity. The amazing thing about living in this valley is that...
Wait, now you know what? Now you know.
In 1976,
Hold on,
he
yeah.
traveled to the Hawaiian.
Living in this valley is that now I know how life can be,
Okay.
as opposed to the way it is.
There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Is that any better?
That's a little weird. It's a little weird, but we're going to go with it.
Oh,
Welcome to
yeah.
Lunch Therapy, Keith Kurlander.
Wow.
So great to have you here. All right. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with your mic. It's like cutting out, being weird, but I'm going to let's just try and push through. Let's get on with this thing. Luckily, we breathed.
Ah, yes, indeed.
Keith was, for those of you that don't know, Keith was running around there trying to get the thing to work while we were watching him relax in Hawaii.
Yeah, that was cool. I loved being there. Kauai was a whole nother experience. Living life in a tent, basically. Picking my own food. 90% my own food. It was timeless, living in the Kauai Valley.
Why did you leave?
Boredom. I mean, you start going nuts after a while. Well, basically, rainy season came in, so every day was like getting, monsooned on. So I got out of there, and then something happens living on Kauai. It's called island fever.
Oh, really?
And so I was there like a year, and yeah, you just have to get off. It's like a lack of cultural stimulus. I mean, I used to, like when the sun went down, sometimes I'd go to the local grocery store and just walk up and down the aisles looking at like Japanese and Chinese imports and Filipino imports, and like, oh, that's interesting, canned eyeballs. Oh, that's fun. There was no TV, no internet, none of that. So yeah, after a while, I mean, if you want to be healthy living on Kauai and you're from the American culture, you need to go back to the mainland, periodically. Otherwise, everybody I ran into who was like a Howie a white person who had moved there and had been living there for more than a year or two and didn't do that, they were fucking nuts.
Lose their mind. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of times in this life that we lead, which is so crazy sometimes here in Los Angeles or even just any place in America, you start to think like, I work so hard and I'm always working and I'm always, my mind is always going a mile a minute. I need to go to a place and live the simple life, live off the land, live with people. And then, there are downsides to that apparently too.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's, in fact, well, a lot of people go to decompress, right? So they'll go to Bali and they'll be on a beach, and what are they doing on the beach after like an hour or two? They're looking at their phone. I mean, I do that all the time. I decompress here. I love going to Will Rogers Beach. I was in the ocean swimming just on Saturday. And, kind of like sometimes it's a longer drive. This last weekend, it took me 40 minutes to get there, which is really short. When it's a longer ride, I just figure, okay, I'm taking a plane trip to somewhere, and then I'm going to decompress. And I'm at the beach, and I love it. But a lot of people at the beach, they're just staring at their iPhone instead of like getting into the sound of the waves and the meditative energy of the ocean, swimming in the ocean, doing yoga there, or walking up and down the beach, breathing in the good air, negative ions. They're looking at their damn phones. So I mean, we work and work and work like hamsters. Then you get like a week or two off. You go to Hawaii, you go here or there, and then people can't decompress like on the beach and just chill. They don't know how to switch into that other modality.
Yeah. Jason Edelman says Kauai is only 2 to 3 million years older than the other islands. It had a head start on growing its garden. I guess so. And Todd says he goes camping for a weekend, and that takes care of the live free itch. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think there's a balance. I think maybe that's one of the problems why people are just like, screw it, I'm going to go move to Bali, because they're not balancing it. And so they realize I've now gone to the other side. We're like, make a drastic change. And
it's a whole nother thing to move into a commune and live with a bunch of crazies there. And, that's a whole nother thing. But as far as Kauai being older, it's an 11-mile hike from the end of the road into Kauai Valley. I started at 6 a.m. I had like about a 60-pound backpack. And when you're turning in and out of valleys, and each valley's kind of different. One might be filled with banana trees. Another one might be filled with huge cactus. And each time you go in and you come back around, then got like 500, 1,000-foot drop off into the ocean. They're just crashing wild. People fall off.
People do? Oh, no.
Yeah, they do. And so when I came around the last turn, the sun was kind of coming down, setting, magic hour. And the hills, the mountains that have been eroded over millions of years were all these colors: gold, red, purples, oranges. And I turned the corner, and the first thing I was thinking was pyramids and dinosaurs. There is something truly ancient there. And that, in fact, Kauai Valley is where the first Polynesians hit land and made settlements. Those were like the original Hawaiians there.
Wow. And so did you find yourself spiritually, like find like a spiritual base there and then go off into the world? Because you made a kind of a drastic change. You went from there that was totally simple, and then you came back to Southern California and apparently started producing television, right?
Yeah, I was doing art. I was doing these really primitive art pieces. I don't know if
I saw those. Yeah.
Like stretched out by bamboo frames that I found the bamboo, and then I'd get the burlap, and I'd just take paint and I just squeeze it right out of the tubes. And I was creating like these primal spirit entities.
Yeah.
And
How did you come to that? Was there some kind of ayahuasca or some kind of tripping going on that made you do that, or was it something that you were inspired by the culture there?
Well, let me back up just a little bit. So
Okay.
when I went to Kauai Valley, I went there to crystallize my spirit. I'd been into yoga for a couple of years, and being in Chicago, I'd be doing a headstand, and people be, look at that guy, oh, he's crazy. What's he doing over there? You know, and be chatting around all the time. So I wanted to get to a clear space where I could crystallize my spirit. And I originally went to Kauai to be on this spiritual farm that I knew about called Lomi Farm. And I was thinking, oh, I'll teach yoga there. Everybody will love me and blah, blah, blah. And basically, they could care less. Gave me a place to stay as long as I worked in their immense garden, which was unbelievable. And so, and I was allowed to eat the food that I picked out the garden. I wasn't part of the main entourage that could get like food prepared in the kitchen and all that. So I was there for about a month. And then the guy who was running that farm turned out he was like a drug addict. And he started like, his favorite saying was, the masses are asses. His wife left him, took the kids. He was kicking people off the farm. And as I left, I go, hey, Vince. He goes, yeah. I go, you know, your favorite saying is the masses are asses. He goes, yeah, I know. I go, well, did you ever consider that you're part of the masses?
Yes.
Makes you an ass? He goes, I never said I wasn't. And then I out of there, and I went into Kauai Valley the first time for 3 weeks. And when I came back, this huge palm tree had just like gone straight. There was a entrance to the farm that said like Lomi Farm, and the palm tree had just smashed it in half. His wife had left him, and he was like a broken man. He was like completely different, but I was out of it after that. I talked to him for a little bit. And so just living in that valley, I went there to crystallize my spirit through yoga. And I was reading all the Eastern, every type of philosophy, but basically like Eastern philosophies, Zen, Buddhism, Tibetan stuff, whatever. And when I came out of there, I had gotten in touch with my primal spirit, which is connected to everything. It wasn't the culture there. It was connecting with the primal spirit, which is like, I mean, you'll see the same kind of art like in primitive cultures kind of everywhere. It kind of keeps recircling. And so that's what I got into with my art when I came back out. So it wasn't up until, when was it? Like 83. It was like, when was that? It's about like 5 years later, I was working handicap driver at the San Diego Zoo, and I see this woman with a camera and a tripod, and I'm a very curious fellow, so I go over there and I start chatting. It turns out she was doing a show for public access. And I'm like, oh, cool, what's that? And so I got into the public access. They give you a camera, training on in-studio production, in-field production, editing, lighting, blah, blah, blah. And that's where I started the RAD TV show in '83.
RAD TV.
Down in good old San Diego.
I love that. Now, public access used to have some of the most interesting things on there. And RAD TV is definitely one of those things, because you kind of had total freedom, right? I mean, they could cancel you, I suppose.
I had total freedom, except that the first place I tried to put it, Valley Cable, which is San Francisco Valley, they called it inappropriate. Which I'm like, well, I must be doing something right. But basically the concept of RAD TV was showing music videos that MTV wouldn't or couldn't play, which was a lot then. They were just starting to play, like Michael Jackson was a big breakthrough. And and then video and film art pieces.
Oh.
And so I started researching. There was a show called Night Flight, which was on Fridays. It was
I used to watch that.
Yeah, and one of the shows was Video Artist. And I'm like, wow, video art, what the hell is that? And so started researching that. And I used to go to a place in Long Beach called the Annex, and I'd pay $5 an hour to view 3/4-inch tapes. And they had everybody who was everybody in terms of the video art world and experimental, film. And so if I found pieces there that I figured could fit into like a format, like about a 3-minute to 5-minute at the most format that would keep people interested, I'd contact them and, see if I could get their video on the show. And then there was a major video artist that was teaching down at University of California, San Diego, the Torrey Pines campus called Chip Lord. And I went down there and I did a little speech and speak, and I ran into students there that were like producing amazing stuff. There was a thing called a Fairlight computer for video, which you could do all sorts of like.
What did that do? That did cool effects? That was like kind of early on, like effects for music videos.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is on my first RAD TV show, #1, Victoria Bearden. And they're doing effects that are like, what the hell is that? I mean, you couldn't see anything like that on TV then. And so, it kind of grew from there.
All right, let's take a look at the trailer from RAD TV 1. Do you think it'll show us like what you were talking about?
Maybe.
Let's check it out. It's really, there's this whole thing. It's so much fun. Let's check it out.
Burn! Woo! I see that burn, baby.
Have you seen this in a long time?
Operant Cosmetics brings you context.
No taking chances.
I have no idea what's going to happen here. Hopefully it's safe for lunch therapy.
Could be fatal.
Zombies taking over the whole human race.
Rad, the sun is hot. We've been kicked out of school for smoking pot. We clear off the beach, grab plenty of brews, get all the wahinis, and we crank up the chill. Hey!
I mean, it was totally tubular.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
The Fairlight is it.
Wow. I mean, that looks crazy stuff. We used to watch stuff like that. I mean, I grew up in Seattle, so we used to watch stuff like that late at night. And this was sort of the precursor to MTV, sort of, right? This kind of stuff.
It was right as MTV had broke like about a year or two earlier, but there was a lot of independent shows across the country that was like, the underground sort of MTVs, the wannabes that were trying to like get bigger like MTV and, expand out.
I remember watching things just before MTV came out, like the late night video. I can't remember maybe somebody in the chat room remembers what that was called, but this has that same kind of feel to it. And it also has this kind of rebellious feel to it too. And I love to see, it's a lot of like that kind of angst that was building up at that time. Really cool to see. So it does seem like a strange move, like Jason Edelman was saying, yogi to punk, a natural progression. Totally.
Why not?
So you did that for a while, right? And that's where you kind of cut your teeth on filmmaking and editing, and then did you go to the Howie Mandel show after that?
No, so 83 to 86-ish, that was down there. Then I moved to LA. My wife at the time wanted to be an actress. She moved to LA and I followed her up, and I was got a job delivering pizzas at Jacopo's Pizza, which is was in Beverly Hills, which was made famous by Pretty Woman. When they're in the hotel, they order Jacopo's Pizza.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But so then I had a cuts only system, 3/4 inch, and I put an ad out there in Penny Saver or whatever that is, in Craigslist, and I started getting people that needed editing, and that's how I started. Just cuts only system.
What is that? What does that mean? Cuts only system? Was it a video editor, like video editing?
Yeah, 3/4 inch, and then I got the cutting edge Amiga computer.
Oh my God, you got one of those?
Oh
that
yeah,
that was like a big deal back then. Oh my God, you got an Amiga.
You could do character generation, you could do animation, you could do titles, and you could do some effects, and so that was a big deal.
Yeah.
So
did you cut actor reels too?
Oh yeah, actor, director, all of that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so that evolved from a cuts only system into a AB roll system with a bigger Amiga computer that then could do more. And when was that? So in and then I started getting into film. That was a big deal. 16mm cameras. That's when I started really directing and shooting like some music videos that were, they got picked up by record companies, that kind of thing.
Parker says, tell him about meeting Angie Bowie.
Oh yeah, she used to perform at Coconut Teaser.
Yeah.
And so she came by when I just had the cuts only system, and I cut like a music video of her performing live to one of her songs, and I'm trying to remember some. Oh shit! Here a little bit of dirt. I mean, who cares anymore? But she said coming in and finding Mick and David in bed together. Does that mean anything anymore? I don't know.
It's definitely a scoop. Definitely something I've heard rumor about. Now let's see, Angie Bowie. How is she related to David Bowie?
Well, she was married to him, and she actually. You can look it up online. I think there's some documentaries on it. She basically launched his career. He had been trying and kicking around a number of times through a number of like incarnations and I think name changes, band changes. And she was the one that had like the kind of connection to the record industry. So she kind of like, she knew how to work the system from the inside out and got him his first deals and all of that really launched him.
Oh, that's cool. I want to hear about this Howie Mandel show. I saw some clips. So I saw some clips of the Howie Mandel show. That looked like a bizarre show itself. What was the premise of that?
Well, it was Howie Mandel's version of a talk show. And that was, I had expanded from a 3/4 inch online system to then getting a business partner in 1993 who was kind of half gangster.
Yeah.
And so then that expanded to 4 edit bays, Beta SP online system, a full-blown Avid, D-Vision, and things were really expanding then. And then that all kind of blew up in 96. And 97, then I just went with the Avid for a little bit, and then that got some real gangsters, and that's when I went freelance. And so a couple years later, that's when I was a freelance editor, and I was working on the Howie Mandel show. So
when you say it blew up, what did you mean that blew up?
My partner got arrested for running some like
oh, no.
Am I going to incriminate myself?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was running. He had some S&M parlors.
Oh my God!
And he used to. He was. He said he was Danish, but he spoke Russian, and I don't know. He'd go to Russia, and he was importing girls through Mexico.
Oh no.
Yeah. So and having these kind of like. Okay. So.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
I want to stay out of it. So,
Jeff Loman says Brian Eno introduction. Maybe we'll change the subject there.
Yeah.
Were you a Brian Eno fan?
I got into Eno kind of late. Was that My Life in the Bush of Ghosts? I got into it like about 4 years after it got released, and I was like, whoa, it blew my mind. My three musical gurus are number 1, Jimi Hendrix, number 2, Miles Davis, which will blow anybody's mind, and then Eno. And in the way I view it, Hendrix kind of takes you around this solar system. Miles Davis takes you to like another galaxy or two, and then Brian Eno takes you beyond the galaxies into dimensions beyond galaxies. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah, pretty expanded. So
I like this is my favorite. Well, okay, so wait. Did you start your band, Idiot-Savant, at this time? When did this come about?
The band came at the same time as RAD TV, which was like, it was like around, I was recording music by myself, but then the band was like from around 84 to end of 85. Wow. That's when we were, and it just came together like, it just happened.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Wow, they've decided to do like some major construction, like on the wall right next to me, which is incredible. I don't know if you.
I can't hear that. What I can hear though is sometimes it sounds like you hit the microphone or something.
I'm getting excited.
Yeah, you get excited. It's like from. It's good though. But were you a musician, or did you just start picking up instruments? Like it seems I've watched your progression as this band over a long period of time because I've been researching you, and it does seem sort of like you guys just dove into it, and then you got some serious skills.
Well, thank you for that. I got a synthesizer and a 4-track reel-to-reel in 1980, and that's when I started like learning about recording and stuff like that. And then when the band came together, which was 84, that was just, these guys had been living together in a house. Yeah. And so the drummer actually had submitted a really effing bizarre video to the RAD TV show. And so that's how we connected there. And we just got together and we just gelled. They needed a guitar player. They didn't have one. And I just fit in, and we did all sorts of crazy ass stuff. And we'd go on stage in a cloud of smoke, and we didn't really know what we were going to play, which was kind of fun. And sometimes we'd have like musicians that had worked with like Iggy Pop or various people, and they'd just join us on stage.
Really?
And we'd just be riffing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Where can people see this stuff? Because it's out there, right? I mean, you've got Idiot-Savant. They've got a channel. Do you have a channel for it?
Oh yeah, there's a channel on YouTube, and then there's also the website, the idiot-savant.net. It has everything in chronological order, and then if you go down at the bottom there's like 2 long form ones, Idiot-Savant, The Rise and Fall.
This is so cool.
And it just goes on and on. It's down at the bottom, Idiot-Savant, The Rise and Fall, and I think it might be combined with the Pink Years.
Oh yeah, the Pink Years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, there it is.
Yeah.
Do I dare click on it? Do I dare click on it?
What's that?
Do I dare click on it? Will there be any not safe for work items? Oh yeah, let's watch it. I'm just going to click around a little bit. Is that you in the pink pants? Oh, yeah. It's totally.
In there.
So did you consider yourself more of a musician or more of a filmmaker or both?
I'd say both.
Both, yeah. Was it a time, because sometimes I talk to people and they say, you know, during those times you had to like pick one, or people would, you know, not be able to categorize you properly and you wouldn't be able to, you know, get any traction. Did you find any trouble with that?
Well, I'm still looking for traction. But I mean, from the first music videos or music that I recorded, pretty much, I was always like, I guess MTV like altered my brain. And, you know, from being a kid watching TV growing up, it's like, oh, well, you know, you put together the visuals with the music. In fact, I had somebody comment on one of the ones that the Brian Eno one.
Yeah, I love that one.
You may or may not play coming up.
Oh, we're going to play it.
The guy commented that he would rather listen to the music than the visuals I did because it takes away from the music, which I'm like, hey, if that works for you, for me, I think the visuals totally work, but you know, it's an opinion, right? So
yeah, I want to talk to you about Dennis Woodruff because I don't want to run out of time. But Dennis Woodruff is somebody that if you live in Hollywood, you know who Dennis Woodruff is. You see him, you've seen him around town for decades. He's an unknown actor, an aspiring movie star, in a sort of a, I guess I'm just describing this for people, and then you can tell me what's true and what's not. But it's almost like a caricature of a desperate actor or a striving movie star. And he has these cars that say Dennis Woodruff. He sells movies out of the back of his car. Everybody has a story about when they've run into him. So a lot of us have the movies. How did you meet Dennis Woodruff? And is that did he pass away?
Yeah, he moved on like just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my God. Well, let's take a moment of silence for Dennis Woodruff.
Yeah. Well, he's getting his moment of silence from LA. We cannot.
I cannot understand why I don't know this.
Yeah, it's a moment of.
It's a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of talking about Dennis Woodruff. How about we do that? Let's talk about this guy.
You know, I sent you like the beginning to Dennis Woodruff Superstar. So that's how it started. So yeah. I've been.
Should I show a clip and then we'll talk about it? I'll show that clip.
Yeah.
Dennis Woodruff, the world's most known unknown actor. This struggling thespian has become an icon in Hollywood by advertising himself with a fleet of ever-changing art billboards on wheels. This is the story of Dennis Woodruff Superstar.
All right, back to the crack.
On TV. Dude. Hi, my name is Dennis Woodruff. I'm an actor. I just thought I'd do my audition here at Taco Bell in Hollywood. It's great to see you, and I'm glad you could join our little party here. So please vote for me for new movie star in Hollywood.
Oh my God, what a special person he was, you know. I mean, such a character that everybody knows. How did you two meet?
Well, I'd seen him around. One of the last jobs I had before going totally into the entertainment biz was making penny souvenirs at Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Wow.
Before it was a machine, you put the money in, there was like a guy there, like me, like cranking this thing. Okay, so I used to see him there all the time, and I used to see Angeline all the time. And
for those that don't know, Angeline was another kind of prominent unknown actor who had billboards all over. She's still around. She drives a pink Corvette.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I knew he was around, and I wanted to make a documentary for whatever reason. After the Howie Mandel show, I thought I kind of knew comedy a little bit, and so Angeline didn't want to. She wanted like $5,000 up front to do the documentary. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And then I ran into Dennis at the Coffee Bean, and came up with a fee, $500, and then we shot. Like 3 days later, we shot for 2 weeks, and that's how Dennis Woodruff Superstar came around. And nice. I still think he's funny.
Yes.
You know, like a lot of Howie Mandel's humor is kind of like in a similar part of the universe where you scratch your head. Some people laugh, some people don't. It's like it makes you think. And I think Dennis is pretty much in that same wavelength. And at times I thought Dennis was like funnier, but you know, it's like who's popular, you know, that kind of thing.
Do you think was he really like working on acting? Was he a person who studied acting?
Classes. It looks like we're in Kauai in the background there.
We might
almost.
Be. We might be.
A little too rocky. Yeah, he took acting classes here and there, but then he'd get frustrated and go, fuck it. You know, kind of thing. I know more than what they're trying to teach me, that kind of stuff. And this whole thing was like, he didn't want to like, you know, be a waiter and do the traditional waiting, you know, and go through the whole casting process. And he just figured he'd make it on his own. Yeah. So that was his.
You did make several movies with him, right? I mean,
he made a shitload, yeah.
A shitload of movies, I guess. It's not several. Yeah, some really interesting ones. So he ended up doing a lot of. Somebody mentioned Jeff Lohman mentioned the car in the movie Volcano.
Yeah.
He was such an icon that he was in. I think he might have been in Escape from L.A. too. Maybe the car. I'm not sure, but definitely in Volcano.
That is definitely, yeah, in Volcano, it gets sucked up into a vortex and goes into the earth. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I think that Variety should do an article about him now that he's passed away.
Yeah, it seems like it. And LA Magazine did a big one. Dennis Woodruff is waiting for his big break. I mean, he was the cover of it. And
there's also a Vice. Vice made a short film about him as well.
Well, yeah. That one had a lot of legs to it too, like 270,000 views, and yeah, I'm in that one too. So it's kind of good because it's like cool. It goes. That's a really good video because it goes through kind of like the history and
yeah, it's really good, and it gives him some respect.
Right.
Sure. Here he is with interviewing Cloris Leachman.
How are you today?
Hi there, Dennis.
Wow, Cloris Leachman, you're a big star. How you been?
Excellent.
What have you been up to?
Oh, I'm doing a one-woman show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning my lines right now and having a cup of hot chocolate.
Uh-huh.
You have a cute dog.
You know, I want to be a great actor like you. And do you give me any like advice on, you know, I'm trying to study my craft at UCLA.
Well, I just think I have a funny bone. And so a lot of it's kind of silly, but it tickles you, I think. It can.
You know, comedy it's either in your soul or it's not, right? I mean, it's actually a very difficult art form, isn't it? To me, it is.
I don't think so. Bye.
That's so great. I think from watching that, some of the Dennis Woodruff movies, he was, for one thing, he was living off whatever he could make from the movies, right? He was selling them out of the back of his car. He said sometimes he had to sell like 10 a day or something to live, which is admirable. And also there's a mix of parody and sincerity in him that seems to kind of go back and forth. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. What you saw on the screen was kind of Dennis Woodruff playing Dennis Woodruff for a lot of the stuff. So yeah, that guy, he did have like this basic innocence about him. Kind of like why doesn't Hollywood recognize me? You know, this isn't right. It's just, it should be a more equitable playing field instead of just the top guys controlling everything. And I did like that about him. He viewed the world in a pretty innocent way like that.
Yeah, yeah. Where can people watch his? Is that Stoner? Is it called stonertv.com? Or
No, stonermoviechannel.com.
Stonermoviechannel.com.
And then there's also denniswoodruffshow.com.
Okay. And I'll put those in the show notes. I'll have my assistant Boney do that.
Don't forget Idiot-Savant.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all of these in there because there's so much great stuff out there. If you're ever like having a day where you're down or whatever, go to any of these channels and you can see some really fun stuff.
There's the last movie we worked at was actually I wrote the script and directed and shot it and all that. It's like the closest thing to a real movie called Cold Creepy Feeling. I don't know if you have that.
Oh, I don't have the clip of that. But
in that one.
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a paranormal kind of. There's like, yeah.
Wow.
I guess you could call it a horror.
Let's see. Let's see if I can have Boney pick it up here. Like the trailer. There we go. There's the. I want to do the trailer, of course. Let's see. Well, let's just. Yeah, here's a little 36-second clip. Just 1 minute here. Boney, could you pull up? I don't know. Sometimes my assistant Boney, he really doesn't have it together.
Boney.
No, I don't mean to badmouth Boney. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Boney.
Spirit, if you are among us, make yourself be known. Chloe? Chloe? Be gone! Christ compels you! Get out of her! Everything's fine. She can't hurt anyone anymore.
Give me my baby!
Oh. Why does it say haunting at Joshua Tree at the end? Is that like an alternate name?
That was an alternate name, but also you did pick it up about 2/3 of the way through the trailer.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, Dennis plays a very low-key Joshua Tree sheriff in it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow. You know, okay, now I just want to highlight some of your music because we're running out of time.
Okay.
But I think your music is really fantastic. One of my favorite ones is this one, Operator Issues. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, for one thing, it's immortalized what would happen if you had a wrong number or stayed on the line too long.
Right, it certainly has.
Actually, an operator, and then the phone would go into these various sounds and stuff. And I'm like, well, these are interesting sounds and all that. And
yeah.
I was working on the riff to begin with, and I just figured the two of them kind of work together. I did that a lot, taking different sounds and noises and then putting them together that then creates, some kind of magic mix.
I think that's cool. All right, let's listen to this for a bit. I love the video too. The video is you edited that video yourself?
Well, yeah. It's found footage sped up and put together in the Idiot-Savant manner.
Yeah.
That song, actually, I recorded that like on my original Moog, like in I think like around 85-ish or something.
Really?
80. So that's from a while ago.
Is it really? I at the end we're gonna have a dance break here, and we're gonna play one of your songs, and it's a more there. You've done some really cool political stuff, by the way. People should take a look at your website because, I mean, I might want to play like one of those. Just a sec here. Let me see about. Because you've done some great stuff. I don't usually do political things on this show, but I don't know. I just love this. Let me go to your Idiot-Savant.net. Anarchy in the USA. Should we play it? I think so. I think it's pretty intense.
You want to get political?
I think it's pretty intense. Let's just watch a little bit of it. Here we go. This is from the website.
I also call myself a Christian nationalist, and that's not a bad word.
Hey, anarchy in the USA is all coming down. Hey, you got yours and I'll take mine. We're all dancing at the edge of time. You did it all for greed. You did it all for power. You broke us all down and grabbed us in the flower. You took away our rights with a wink and a smile, pretending to be righteous, to really just vile. Hey, anarchy in the USA, it's all coming down. Hey, you got yours and I'll take mine. We're all dancing at the edge of time. You took away my country. Now you're coming for us.
That's intense. Did you write that recently? Or is this a song you've had for a while?
No. Well, that was like from a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Just kind of reflecting what's going on. I mean, when you see that image, the imagery, and you think of anarchy, and like you think of like, say, anarchy being this thing over here, like in France or something. No, it's here, and it's already happened, and it's happening right now. And it's just like, it's kind of hard to tell the trees when you're in the forest, right?
Yeah, totally. It's happening right now. Wow. Stompbox Holiday is here. Keith, good to see you, buddy. Idiot-Savant rocks. Does rock.
Thank you, Stompbox.
Yeah, check out the Idiot-Savant.net website. Am I getting that right? Is it Idiot-Savant?
Savant.
Yeah, Idiot-Savant.
Yeah.
.net. It'll be on the show notes as soon as the show's over. Unfortunately, we've reached the end of the show. There's so much to talk about with you.
Brian Eno.
Oh, we're gonna play the Brian Eno, but that's where we're gonna do your Brian Eno cover at the end of Lunch Therapy. Every Lunch Therapy. This is episode 600, by the way. Congratulations for being on episode 600. We're gonna have to.
I feel so honored.
All right, thank you.
Connection.
Thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful having you on here. And so in the honor of that, we're going to play at the end of the show, all 600 episodes, we always play a cover song of somebody. And today we're going to play a cover song that the guest has done. Idiot-Savant doing a Brian Eno song, and it's called Dance Babies.
No, Babies on Fire.
Ah, Babies on Fire. I blew it. Totally blew it. Babies on Fire. Shows you what I know. Congratulations on 600 episodes. Thanks, Alex Catering. One of our great friends. I haven't seen him in so long in New York. Babies on Fire. Like I said, the song is called Babies on Fire. Thanks so much for being on the show, Keith.
Oh,
Really
well, thank you
appreciate
for
this.
having me.
It's been beautiful having you on the show. We had some difficulties in the beginning. We overcame them. It's great.
Yeah.
I love that. It's fun. Bonding experience. All right, dance break time. Now we're going to dance to your song. This is, you made this video as well using AI.
Yeah, okay, so this is
Yeah,
pretty
set it up.
interesting if you want to get into it. So I was trying to come up with imagery for, do I have like 30 seconds?
Yeah, I have all the time you want. Yeah.
I was trying to come up with imagery. So like you're using like Chat GPT and you go, baby's on fire, and it comes up, it says it won't do it because that's like, ooh, baby on fire, can't touch that, you know.
Yeah.
And so I used, okay, baby walking on the sun. And then you wait like 5 minutes and then you get this imagery that just kind of sucks. And so I found this one called Video Leap, and I'm like, hey, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
And so everything in this video is shot either in the guest house or the kitchen, and then AI changes the environment and changes, you know, I got to pick my looks, but the way AI changes the environment is very much like a dream, I've decided, where like you'll be talking to somebody and then you turn your head and then somebody else is there and it's like, wow, where did they come from? You know, and AI picks up on little nuances in the environment and then alters itself. It's
wow, I didn't even know that was how you did it. If I were to approach this, I would have done it a completely different way using AI. I would have used Mid-Journey, made images of people and then put them into this thing called DID that makes it talk.
Right.
But you filmed it and then you had AI do its own thing. That's so interesting because like the thing about this artificial intelligence, at least at this point, is we're all like playing around with it, trying different things and coming up with different, you know, results. And it's kind of, it's pretty fun. I hope, you know, before it eats us, I hope we have a good time.
It's pretty fun until you play like my last video on there, which is Arthur C. Clarke talking about how AI is going to be the end of humanity, and he said that in 1966. So besides
that, all right, let's do this thing. Let's dance it out. Episode 600, dance break.
Baby's on fire, better throw her in the water. Look at her laughing, like a heifer through the slaughter. Baby's on fire, and all that laughing boys are bitching. Waiting for photos, oh the plot is so bewitching. Rescuers row, your best to change the subject. Blow the wind, blow. Get some systems to the object. The photographer snip, snap. Take your time, she's only burning. This kind of experience is necessary for her learning. If you be my black soul, you'll be half the man I used to. They said you were hot stuff. That's what baby's been reduced to. Clever with the rockers, making their fortune, selling second-hand tobacco. Long passes at Chico, and when the clients are evicted, he empties the ashtrays and pockets all that he's collected. Well, baby's on fire, and all the instruments agree that her temperature's rising, but any idiot would know that.
All right, thanks everybody. This has been episode 600 with Keith Kurlander. Have a great weekend. See you next Tuesday.